for 2016. So welcome to the live stream. We're gonna actually stream for just a little bit tonight. It's kind of late. I just finished some gaming, so we're just gonna do a little live streaming because I figured, hey, if I started my Extra Life campaign, which some of you, if you watched yesterday, will know that I just started my Extra Life stream, my Extra Life campaign, and so it's time to get to work. Okay, we can talk a little bit about what I will be doing for this campaign, because this is going to be a shorter campaign than previous years, but I still think it's going to be a good one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share this on Twitter. I'm going to go hashtag Extra Life stream #1. All right. Okay. Good. So that's now on Twitter, and we're gonna see who will show up and paint with me. Okay. All right. So let's get all our stuff together. We still have our paints from yesterday. I'm actually gonna dump that. I'm gonna dump this wet palette, and we're gonna start fresh tonight. So like I said, I was just finished doing a little gaming. Ooh. Right. Making a mess. Making a mess. Oh, made a big mess. 1 second, you guys. So if you're just tuning in, welcome to Play It Painted Live. This is our Extra Life Stream 1. We'll see how many of these we can actually do. I think my plan is to just turn on the camera and stream anytime I'm painting between now and November 5th. Where are the scissors? You can hear me cutting my parchment paper. We're going to do a little bit more work on the Relic Knights minis. And I'm going to ask you guys on YouTube to go ahead and, if you've been considering it, to consider it a little bit more, donating to my Extra Life campaign. As you guys know, in years past, this has been a lot of fun for the channel, and you guys have actually been a big part of doing something really great for the kids, and hopefully enjoying some painting and some playing with me along the way. Alright, so here's the deal. Let me show you guys where I'm at, and once again, if you have any questions about the Extra Life campaign that I'm running, or if you want to have a donate to my Extra Life campaign, you can look up Play It Painted on the Extra Life page, or you can look up my name, Octave, O-C-T-A-V-E. I'm sure I'm one of the only Octaves on Extra Life. Let me get some oops. I'm gonna, oh, actually you can kind of see right there, right? So here is Viper, Ooh, I have autofocus on. Not sure how wise that is, but here's Viper. And it's not looking too bad on your screen, but on my screen, her skin is really bothering me. Like it's just not good enough for what I want to do. Okay, so I've been struggling with my basic skin tone from Vallejo Model Color. I don't know what it is, but Model Color, this might just be a weakness of mine in Model Color, but this basic skin tone has been it's been a bane of my existence, and I'm just having a hard time getting the texture the way I like it. So I've decided, tonight I was at the LGS Comic Quest, and I decided, hey, you know what? Let's just take the leap, and let's try a totally different approach. Okay, so I'm going to try the master. I've switched suppliers on my skin, so we're going to try Reaper Master Series. Okay, so now in the past I've used Reaper Master Series, and one of the problems I had with it was actually that Reaper Master Series flows out well, like extremely well, and so because it's got flow improver in it, but the bottles at the shop were a little old, so you really have to shake them up to get them to work. Okay, so we're going to try this. This is one of their core colors, and this one's called Rosy Skin. And we're going to try that on this miniature, and I'm really going to try to clean up her skin. Okay, so let's try that. Yeah, this bottle is so old. I'm actually having a hard time getting product to come out. So, where is my little, I have a little needle for such things. The other option is I could go back to game color and use the light skin for game color. The issue I have with that is that the game color skin, they don't have a great analog for basic skin tone. So I'm really trying to find something that keeps me in that basic skin tone neighborhood. Alright, so let's try. See, I can already tell just looking at that liquid that that's pretty good. Like I don't even really need to do too much thinning there. I'm going to add a little bit of matte medium to it. Hello, Extra Live. Hey, what's up, Tori? Thanks for tuning in. And for you guys who are interested in donating to my Extra Life, here's the deal, okay? So for those folks who actually get me to my initial goal of, who donate towards that initial goal of getting to $200, if you donate $15 or more, guess what? You're in every single raffle that we unlock from here on. Okay? You're also going to get some automatic stuff. That's one thing that we're doing this year, is there's going to be automatic prizes. So for those of you who have donated in the past and have gotten nothing because it was all raffles, hey, what's up, Canvas? Hey, honey. This year you are going to get something, okay? So for example, if you donate $5 or more, what do I do with it? See, I just promised you something, and I don't have an example nearby, because I'm a bad person. Maybe it's in my promo cabinet. Yeah, here we go. All right, so if you donate to yeah, you automatically get something if you donate. Okay, so if you donate $5 or more, you will automatically get one of these cool Play It Paint It patches. Come on, you know you love it. It's beautiful. So you'll get one of those. And again, like Canvas, if you put $5 down, you're essentially trolling me, because I have to send it to Australia and take a massive hit just shipping that over to you. If you donate 15 or more, you get this, and you get you get a couple of the fancy plate painted dice. All right, so you get a pair of these plate painted dice, right? And they're pretty fancy. And look at that, I rolled a 6 right out of the gate, just so you know. So $15 gets you this and a set of dice, okay? If you donate $25 or more, you get everything that I just talked about, the patch, the dice, and you get to select the topic of a video for me. So I will shoot a video no less than 5 minutes, could be an hour, I don't know, but no less than 5 minutes, talking about something gaming or painting that you want me to talk about. Now, you could be a troll and say, talk about this game that you've never played before. See, I'm giving Canvas all the ideas here. Yeah, you get 2 dice. So you could get me to talk about that, or you could actually pick something that I might know something about and have me do a video on it. For example, you might say, hey, I'm really interested in playing Dead Man's Hand. Have you ever played Dead Man's Hand? Can you do a video on it? And I will shoot a video no less than 5 minutes on, probably going to be more like 15 minutes or so, on my impressions of the game and my recommendations around that game, right? Or you could pick a painting topic, or you could pick a building topic. Like how do you pin this type of miniature? Have you ever worked with this line before? How do you stamp a base? It can be any number of topics. That is all, by the way, that's already a marked improvement. Just switching to Reaper. I don't know. Reaper's kind of good. Might have to do it. Game of Thrones. Yeah, you can get me to talk about Game of Thrones. That might be an hour video, because I might be complaining about Game of Thrones for an hour. But yeah, so that's what you get at $25. Okay, and for those of you crazy or willing enough to do 50, well, 50 gets you everything, all of the above, plus I will schedule a session, a hangout session to paint with you, right? Or actually you just get me for an hour, essentially, on Hangout, and we just do whatever the hell you want to do. If you want to record it, we'll stream it. Like, you could say, oh, I want you for an hour, and we'll just hang out for an hour, and we'll just talk mess, and we'll do that. We'll do that for an hour. So that's what I have for. So those are the automatic things you can get for donating to the campaign. And like I said, if you are one of the folks that donates to the campaign to get me to $200, you're locked in on all the raffles that happen after. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to try to hit the $200 deadline before the Extra Life event proper on November 5th. But after the Extra Life event, I'm going to continue raffles into the year. As long as we unlock the raffles, I'll continue them. And this will allow people to jump into the campaign even after the proper Extra Life event is over. So, again, I'm just trying to entice people to jump in and do the Extra Life thing. Okay? Yeah, this already looks better. I know you guys can't really see much, but she already looks better. Yeah, that was great. Just a little matte medium and some Reaper really changed the story there. I like that. Okay, so let's do her hair. I'm not really sure what color we want her hair to be. Blue is kind of a cool one. Purple might be a cool. I think the studio artwork is purple. I also kind of like blonde. Blonde is kind of cool too. I think what we're gonna, yeah, because blonde. The thing that's cool about blonde is then this becomes like an apple seed looking miniature, and I like that a lot. So I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna go blonde hair here, and he's gonna have more like black hair. Okay. Actually, let's. I don't know. Thinking about getting greedy. Hey, what's up, Cameron? Welcome to the feed. Painting up some Relic Knights resin. So. Yeah, she might be my, I might have to paint her like Dunan from Appleseed. That's what she reminds me of. It's just kind of a bummer because I should paint, if I'm going this route, then I should paint, Suspect 7 like Briareos. Or I could paint Magnus to look like Briareos too. For you Appleseed fans out there. I think that would be kind of cool. Let's give her skin a little bit of a highlight. Man, that was just a huge difference. I don't know, Reaper, you might have me here. You might be onto something. And one of the advantages to going to Reaper would be the fact that my LGS stocks Reaper. They don't stock Vallejo model color, so I end up having to shop at other shops or buy online, and I'm a little bit ashamed of that because my LGS does they really rely on me for helping customers with paint and doing paint days and that kind of stuff, and I love doing it, absolutely love doing it. But it's a shame when I'm like, oh well, the stuff I use you can't buy here. So Blade Wolf, hello, how are the black diamonds coming? Yeah, same as last night. I did a if you recall from last night, I was saying that the skin tones were annoying me, so I went out and I picked up some Reaper Master Series paints, and I'm just applying them right now, and they look fantastic. That was like already, it seems to have already improved my situation significantly. Okay. So now let's we're gonna, that said, we're gonna go right back to now, refresh my memory, is Dunan, is her hair like golden blonde or is it pale blonde? I forget. Someone chime in, let me know in the comments. Dunan from Appleseed. Golden blonde hair or like really, really platinum blonde? I forget. Someone tell me. Anyway, let's go on to, I'm going to paint his hair black. So we're going to make a, black gray. And our matte medium. And I'm going to add, oh, that's good enough actually. Yeah, matte medium and black gray. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I can actually add a little bit, just a little bit of glaze medium to it. A little bit more. He looks like something out of Blade Runner. He does. This is the guy I want to cosplay if I do Relic Knights. Him or Cross. I want to do him because I do have like I have a couple of these really long black leather coats that I wear. I usually wear them like for steampunk stuff. But I could totally rock that for a CSM Alex cosplay. Anyone Google Dunan from Appleseed? No, somebody sent me a photo. Tori sent me a photo. I bet that's from Appleseed. And see, I kind of have a goatee also. So that's another reason why I would be interested in cosplaying Mr. Alex here. Because when you, like, if you're into anime and you have a goatee, there's not a whole lot of characters in anime that rock goatees. They're just not. I mean, it's cool when they do it, but it's just, you're not really gonna, you're just not gonna encounter that very often. Alright, so we're gonna start to paint the weaponry. And then with these models, the base is the same essential style too. So we're gonna do her rifle, and I'll get back to the hair in a minute. This is this little 9-point model, one of my favorite sculpts in the whole range. Just because it's fun, you know. Whoa. Whoa. So the other thing I was gonna say is, as part of the stream raffle, if it gets unlocked, part of that will be painting stuff as part of the stream, and then just raffling it to the people who are in the Appleseed. Okay, so we're looking at, so here's what Tori sent me. So it's kind of a golden blonde. Thanks, Tori. So we need to do yellow ochre or heavy gold brown would be that's a nice base. So we'll do heavy gold brown as the base. I'm going to cut that with water, because when you're doing hair, a little bit of texture doesn't hurt anybody. Yeah, actually, Tori, on that note, getting back into Relic Knights, we played Ninja All-Stars tonight with a friend of mine, Corey, who's been on this feed a couple of times, and his wife, and they're Relic Knights players from Oceanside, and so it's great that they're around and also interested in the game. So hopefully we can start getting more regular Relic Knights games, and then with Void Break coming out and the 2-player starter, you know, maybe we can get even a few more people to pick up the game. I'm just daydreaming. But I really love the aesthetic of the game. And I also really like the mechanics of the game. Most people just don't even know that this game exists right now. And when you like a game's mechanics and its fluff and its theme, and you enjoy painting all the miniatures, like, what else can you ask for? This game, there's a reason why this game for me has just been like my #1 game for like the past 3 years running, because it allows me to do everything I enjoy. about miniature gaming. I enjoy every aspect of playing Relic Knights. I enjoy playing it, I enjoy painting it, I enjoy the tactics, I enjoy the fluff, the artwork, the themes. Like this game really does kind of hit on everything that I like. Right? For me, anyway. Arcade is one of those games where I like the models, but the mechanics are actually where I get confused. Yeah, it's one of those games where it's like you probably have to play with people that are regularly playing, or you have to like watch. That's one of the things I want to do too, is I want to start, get back to streaming, especially with the new rules coming out. I want to stream some of those games. But the thing is, with streaming arcade, the action it's so fast that you may not you may end up missing quite a bit of it. That's what I'm worried about. Okay, so that looks good. I'm gonna add some glaze medium to my black gray, and we're gonna hit the bases. Black Diamond does not have they do not have very complicated schemes, so this army paints up very fast. Okay. So that's just me painting some of this plate here, and then I'm going to pull a little bit of it off. Right? And if you are good about feathering those bits off, it should look pretty good. If you stream new rules, I'll be watching. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I've even kind of, this may sound weird, but I've even considering streaming games that where I'm the only one playing, where I play both teams. And the reason why I would do that is because it would allow me to pace the game the way I want, and I could better explain things as they're happening. So that might be more worth watching than watching an actual player versus player game. It might be better to watch someone running both sides that can explain exactly what's going on, why decisions are being made when they're being made, and show you and share with you like things like, here's what my Esper deck looks like, what my hand looks like, and why I'm playing for these particular actions. Because I think you could get a lot of that, a lot from that. I could even justify why the lists are put together the way they are. I'll tell you right now, most of the reason why I will put together my list for RK is because I like the miniatures. So no, you're not gonna see like heavily power game lists. You're gonna see lists with models that I really like. That said, I have to say RK is definitely one of the better games for that. It's kind of anti list tweaking, and I'll explain that. So like most games, right, most miniature games, you're like, oh, I really love the look of this model, and I love the look of this model, and this is the unit that I really like, and so on and so forth, but that unit doesn't work very well in the field, or this is a much more optimum configuration for an army roster, right? Happens all the time in miniature games. Even games like Infinity, where it's kind of like the rule of cool, like the really cool looking stuff tends to have great rules going for it. Well, still, unit differences in that game would make it such that, okay, you have these really cool units, but you still, like, you may end up spamming them, or you may end up having to take other units that you don't like to keep those really cool looking units in line. Relic Knights does not really suffer from any of those considerations. And the reason why it doesn't suffer from those considerations is the fact that in Relic Knights, most of the time, you're doing generic actions. In other words, you're doing actions that are available to all units. So when you do generic actions, like when you do infuses, interacts, and that kind of stuff, all units can do that. It's just how fast is the unit, what are some of the other things that the unit's doing on top of those actions. That's what makes the units different. How resilient are the units? So what I'm saying is there's still enough, man, now I gotta decide if I want to do, I better look at that picture of Dunan again. Now I gotta decide if I want to do the wash or not. I think I do. I think I want to do the wash. I think it'll look cool with the wash. But I want to do a thin wash. So I'm actually going to put the wash on my wet palette. And I'm not really going to add anything to it. I'm just going to use the fact that the wet palette adds a little bit of dampness to it to actually control the thickness of the wash. Tori, you can get the new rules just by downloading them. They're available on the Ninja Division website. All right, so let's go here. And so when I do this kind of stuff, I usually pick an inconspicuous part of the model to do. And I'm gonna use this wash to allow me to build it in the shadows better. Okay. So that's, man, I love this model. This is such a cool. Yeah, I think I'm calling her Dunan. Now I need my Suspect 7, not my Suspect 7, my Codebreaker is painted like Celti from Durarara. So he looks like, you know, the headless biker, and the enslaved Cypher looks like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. So if I really want to finish this theme, I have to go back and paint Codebreaker to look like Briareos. There's so many cool ways to paint this particular model, though. Like, she's just like awesome, like fanboying over this model. I know, sounds lame. I know. I don't care. I don't care. Model looks cool. So I'm totally down. And then I recently got the idea of doing an entirely Ruby themed list for Relic Knights. And so I'm seriously considering, okay, what models do I put together for that? And then I'll paint them up. And I don't know, maybe I auction that off. Maybe I raffle that off, I don't know. See, we're back to trying to pimp for extra life. So I apologize if you're upset by the e-begging and whoring. I'll try to stop that. I will pat myself on the back though and say, hey, at least I turned monetization off for the channel, because it really was. I felt that was bad. I felt that the monetization really wasn't doing what I was hoping it would do, which was put me a little higher in search results, but it wasn't doing that. So, and I don't make a dime off of monetization. That was the only reason why I was doing it, was so that, you know, when people are looking for info on a game, a miniatures game that's not GW or Privateer, that they would stop seeing the big channels that all they talk about is GW and Privateer, if you get my drift. Okay. So now I want to do a white glaze, because believe it or not, these models are getting close to finished. Actually, I still have to do. I'm going to let that glaze dry, and then I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to highlight her hair. But in the meantime, I still have the jacket to do, and I have the little purple there that I have to paint for the black diamond symbol. She has like those black diamond rings on her shoulders. I'm out of this purple. What are the best new player factions? That is a great question for Relic Knights. In my opinion, the best new player factions are Black Diamond and Shattered Sword. That's what I would say. Black Diamond and Shattered Sword are the best new player factions, because they have, both of those factions have good raw stats, and they have, you know, so they have good armor, they have reasonably good movement, they're good, they're usually good combat. Black Diamond probably being a little more ranged and offensive than Shattered Sword. Shattered Sword's probably a little tankier, and then they can both, I would say Shattered Sword is a little tankier and actually a little swifter, depending on your build. So I would say those two factions, and you know, it also doesn't hurt that they're both of them have really good starter boxes. But I'm gonna caveat that again and say, if you really like miniature quality, then I would probably build custom around the resin stuff. Like if you're really in this for the models, I would go in for the resin kits and try to find the starter kit for nothing, because that's the other thing. Because Relic Knights has been around for a while, and it's been around for a while, and you don't have right now a large player base. A lot of players are selling their Relic Knights on the Relic Knights Facebook group, on eBay, and for nothing, like for nothing. So like the dirt cheap. So if you wanted to buy a starter, I would not be surprised if you could find starters for, you know, 50% retail. Like if you I would say most of the time you could probably find starters, if you know where to look, you can probably find a starter for like $35, which is a fantastic price. And the reason why you can is because the people who are staying in Relic Knights already have that stuff, and they're actually, like me, they're looking to phase it out and start playing more of the resin. So if you can find stuff like that, great. Let's see. When I first played RK, I went Shattered Sword, but if I'm going back, I'm looking at Black Diamond. Black Diamond is a really strong faction. Yeah, my only criticism of Black Diamond is they're a little bit slow, and if you're not playing Magnus, they have somewhat significant vulnerability to psychic attacks. But as a faction that can kind of do it all and really excels at the combat game, this is the faction to play. They're definitely the ranged faction. If you wanted to play a purely like a high-powered, high-damage game that's a little more glass cannon, I would go Doctrine. Doctrine's capable of some really, really crazy builds that can do a lot of damage. And in fact, I would say, yeah, on eBay right now, our RK starter box is $35. So there's that. And then, you know, if you find private sellers, they can sell for a lot cheaper than that too. And the starter box is a good value because the questing knights are usually pretty good in them, and you do get a full rule book and a deck and a set of tokens. So even if you don't think the miniatures are very good, if you plan on playing Relic Knights, then the starters are still good value because of all the other stuff that you get in there. That said, if you're not, there's a easy way to play around a starter box. Like if you absolutely don't want to buy a starter box, there's plenty of strategies of just avoiding one altogether. And in fact, if you're going to play Cersei Speed Circuit and you're brand new, I wouldn't even recommend the starter box unless you like need the deck and the rule book and the tokens. I really wouldn't recommend that starter box until you've played a little bit. Then that starter box is actually pretty good, but it's not going to make sense to brand new players. They're going to have a rough time because the guys that break out the Black Diamond starters and say the Corsair starter, those guys are going to have, oh look, here's my troops, they shoot, here's what they do. I kind of get it. They're going to do, you know, those first couple of games. Let's make up a scenario here where we have two new players and they pick up starter boxes, right? And one new player picks up either Black Diamond or Shattered Sword or I would say Corsairs, and the other player picks up Cersei. The player who picked the not Cersei starter has a better chance of winning at least the opening game, and if not a few games after that. It isn't until the Cersei player has done a little bit of homework and put a little bit of thought into what their starter is capable of, that they'll actually start being successful with it. But let me caveat that and say that Marie Claude, the knight that it comes with, actually a really good questing knight. But a lot of people thought she was crap for the longest time. I think she's fantastic. Let's see. I own no. I just need to figure out where to build from starters. Oh, good night, Cameron. Yeah, so let's see. The no starter that comes with the Zenata, comes with Berserkers, and it comes with what's that? The ranged unit, right? Well, the popular no builds, I think some of the most popular no builds are the ones that are built around Beastmasters and Hounds, because it's a pretty strong build. So you can go that route. If you're sticking with Zenata, then the Berserkers are great. The ranged units, okay. But I would look at some of their other units as well. Hatria Warriors are pretty good. They're no Dark Space units, so Dark Space Renfera, and if you can find her, Dark Space Hasami look really strong. The other place where Zenaida does well, she's a psychic, so if you pair her with a Void Witch, for example, that's really strong. Or shoot, I forget the name of that other Void unit. My point is, though, you have the no starter is actually quite good, and it just depends on what you want to do with them. A lot of people are going to think that no are like the bashy faction. I don't look at them that way. I think they're much more about control and denial than they are melee. Melee in this game, it just is not great. It's not great unless you're really saving for a specific moment and you have access to a really, really good melee attack. So when you look at no, like one of the most interesting things with no that I consider is how many pulls they have, how many pushes they have. That's where it's really cool. Because Saruto has a bunch of them, and I forget what. And a lot of their units work off of that. They work off being able to displace the opponent. And I was just telling my friends tonight, like, man, I was really considering starting no again, because I had a no faction, and I actually donated it to Extra Life a couple years ago and just gave it away. Like gave away the entire faction. Cool set too. Got to paint the whole thing. Saruto is a cool model, but man, such a pain to transport because it's so big. Well, all the Relic Knights are. Relic Knights are just so big that honestly most of the time I play Questing Knights. It's just more convenient. I don't know. I love how Relic Knights look, but I don't necessarily like. I don't find their playstyles as interesting as the Questing Knights. I think the Questing Knights really have really nice playstyles. Okay, we are almost done with these models, by the way. Yeah, that skin worked like gangbusters. That was nice. So right now I'm just picking off some edges on the base. One tentacle bento cards. Like, what cards are you missing? Did you get the... Have you been keeping up with the Takahashi minis and all the like extra credit girls and that kind of stuff? Okay. So now I'm going to take this golden yellow. I'm going to make a glaze out of that. And I'm going to use that to highlight this model. But yeah, these are coming along. They're almost done. The extra minis card. Yeah, the extra credit cards. They're cool cards. I hardly ever drop them in. The newer, I haven't really added the newer ones to my deck. I need to do that. Okay. So we're just gonna give this a little. So yeah, like the more stuff you guys want to see and want me to do and want me to give away, the more you should be looking at that campaign. Because I do, you know, I didn't think I was going to do a fundraiser this year, but if I'm going to do it, I might as well try to have some fun and kind of run it like a miniature, like a smaller scale version of what we've done in the past years. Okay. Now she's really starting to get the kind of depth and stuff that I like. So you just use that glaze to kind of feather in the edges there. But if I can get it to focus, come on. See, I hate autofocus. There we go. So you can see she's coming along. I may also be convinced to do another Castellan, since I have it, and stream that. Oh wow, I didn't even do that. Didn't shade that. This does really remind me of like a Infinity, the way her armor is, her body armor, reminds me of Infinity. But the bigger scale, the more heroic scale of Relic Knights makes her easier to paint than those really delicate Infinity pieces. All right. So now I'm going to take this and make a super thin with the white glaze and really just sort of really subtly put in a little white. You know, almost like that's where the light hits. See that? Just real. she's looking a lot more fun now. Wrecker. Oh, yeah. I gotta paint Wrecker next, huh? Let's get some Guild Ball on these streams. Yeah, my Wrecker is still primed white. Oh, you're talking about the Royal Wrecker. It's been a while since I've painted a Royal Wrecker. I thought you were talking about Wrecker the Armadillo from Guild Ball. Yeah, Royal Wrecker, okay. Okay. So you can see, this guy, when it comes down to it, is pretty straightforward. Nevertheless, he's pretty cool looking. Alright, let's actually give him another coat of black, of that black gray. Or actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's do something a little bit different. Let's take some of this Nuln Oil and wash the cloak with it. Or not the cloak, yeah, let's wash the cloak. It'll look cool. You don't have any Guild Ball minis? Well, we can fix that. There's a Guild Ball 2-player starter coming out, and I could be convinced to raffle off some of the Guild Ball goodies I have. And I'm just gonna wash this dude. And CSM Alex looks pretty cool. Okay. And then finally we'll wash her jacket. Vipers make really cool, good objective runners for Black Diamond, along with Suspect 7. You can have a really fun, like, scenario-based team, and still be able to put out a reasonable amount of firepower with them. Okay, so now, just about done. Let's just, we're going to do the final ooh. I'm going to do the final bit, and I'm going to loosen these off of the holders here so that I can pry them off more easily once they're done. Alright, so now I need pure black. And we're going to hit this pure black, and then that's it, folks. We're going to call it. We're going to because these guys are done, and then we're gonna move on to maybe some more painting tomorrow night. What do you think I should paint tomorrow night? Should I paint more Relic Knight stuff, or should I, or do you guys want me to paint something from Guild Ball? I can try to find my Kingdom Death minis. If you want me to paint Kingdom Death mini, let me know. Like, what do you think? I could paint the Arena Rex mini. I could paint Ninja All-Stars, so I could paint Chibi. You know, right now, I'm painting for you guys, so I'm painting stuff that I haven't painted, but it's all fun stuff. How about this? If I can break the $50 mark tonight, or before, we'll say, if I can break the $50 mark before the next live stream. No, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do stuff like that. Man, I just screwed that up. That's okay. There, I just fixed it. But I should paint, I do want to like paint pieces and raffle them off. Okay. You guys have any comments or questions or anything? I could build the Castellan. I guess that's or I could do, I could do the catalog. That'll be fun. All right, I'm just gonna do this because it sounds fun to me. If I can break before tomorrow night's stream, assuming I do a stream tomorrow night, I hope I do. If I can break, how about this? Before the next stream, if I break, if I make $50 or more on my Extra Life campaign, I'll paint something that I can raffle off. Yeah, why not? Why not? Trying to get this edge nice and clean. Not the end of the world, but there it is. Yeah, these models look fun. Okay, so let's do this. We'll close this up. These models are basically done. There's not much left to be done there. There's CSM Alex. I don't know why he's holding his hands up like that. Like, hey, I don't really know what he's doing. But there's CSM Alex. And here is Viper, aka Dunan from Appleseed. Do I need to wash? No, I don't want to wash the hair. I could wash the hair and make it a little more golden brown, but I think that's fine. All right. So anyways, thanks for the compliment, Blade Wolf. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you watched this stream and the one last night, you're watching start to finish, like everything I did from priming these models. Zenithal priming, and then working on the faces, and then the glazes and that kind of stuff. Okay, so once again, before I sign off, just want to encourage you guys to go check out my Extra Life page. It is, you can look it up under Octave Villar, or just, I think if you put in Play It Painted, you should be able to find me. And then you can go ahead and donate on there. And yeah, you're going to get automatic stuff this year, so that's good. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching. Let's shoot for tomorrow night, and I'll do a build. I'm really thinking about doing catalog next. Catalog sounds like it'll be fun. All right, so that's going to do it for tonight. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.